Well, the show must go on, and here we are again with Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé, and we're happy to be with you today. And we've got another roundup of what's happening in AI. So many things happening. It seems like AI and the forward leap that's happening right now is just taking over the news, at least in my mind. I mean, so many things, just an exponential jump in what's happening out there in the world of tech, and AI is leading the way. Now today, or let's say, I better control myself from getting into this, but NVIDIA is posting earnings tomorrow, and a lot of people are looking at this as a means of, should they invest in NVIDIA stock, the chip maker that's powering AI across the planet right now. Could be a great opportunity, for someone like myself who is, looking at it from the outside, looking in. It seems like this is a good time to get in. Although, I don't know, you never really know. But NVIDIA is powering AI, and it's an interesting time to be looking at this. Seems to me like we're at the beginning of a launch that's going to just jolt the planet into the future, right? Or whatever the future is going to be. And NVIDIA, the chip maker, is powering AI. So it seems to me like this is a good time to be at least looking into it. You should study it, and you find out, if NVIDIA is a good stock to invest in right now. Of course, you've got all the others. You got OpenAI. We talk a lot about OpenAI. I think it's kind of captured the imagination of people, because it is the most popular, I think, by a large degree, of the most popular AI that you can access and use. And the recent development last week was they announced that the ChatGPT-4 was now going to upgrade to ChatGPT-4o, the O standing for Omni. And what it meant was some new capabilities, some of which have not even been released yet. You can see them in demo form on their website, but it's truly, absolutely mind-boggling what it will be doing now. The ChatGPT-4o will be free to the public. If you're a paid customer like myself, all right, you have those same new capabilities that they're offering for free, but you're having a more robust version, let's say. And for $20 or $30 a month, you have a more robust version. But they're making it open and free to people, and it's going to be a great tool for everyone. It's democratization of AI, I guess you could kind of call it. And it's just an exciting time. It's an exciting time because so many new potentials will be developing and unfolding before our eyes over the next few years as AI really gets entrenched and starts to help civilization, in so many different ways. Of course, the bad actors out there will get a hold of AI, and there will be fake news. We have an election coming up. There will be so many things that will be not used in the right way. Of course, we all know that, and it's already evident that that's going to happen and is already happening. But there's so many good things too. So and the good hopefully will outweigh the bad. One thing they talk about is the AI opening up a period for civilization of great prosperity, where the concept of lack is diminished and goes away, and abundance, a time of abundance. There's we showed a clip the other day from, I think it's called IT Theory, and that particular impact theory, and it's Billy Yu is the guy's name who does the show. It's a podcast, and he always has a lot of great guests on. He had, I think his name well, let's take a look at this impact theory interview. The guy that you're going to be watching, that he's interviewing, is a guy who is a proponent of well, let's take a look, and then I'll tell you more about it after. Let's go to the clip.
Same sort of bounded fluctuation. Now, those bounded fluctuations, to me, are terrifying. And if you read history, because, like I said, the long arc is bending towards prosperity for all. And if you zoom out long enough on human timescales, it's unbelievable the
It is
progress made.
incredible.
Oh my God. But that does not help the guy whose family all gets rolled up in rugs by the Mongols and trampled to death.
Yes.
Like, that's just no consolation.
That's
and so
right.
I'm saying we're all that guy, right? We all live one life.
Yes.
We are bounded from a time perspective so far. And so it matters to me a lot where I am on these jagged lines. So going back to AI, what are these jagged lines? Do you buy into my thesis or do you have a different one?
Oh, I agree with you, but with some caveats. So, for example, the economic outcomes of AI, I think, are pretty clear in terms of what's going to happen. I think we're going to see massive productivity gains across the board. The challenge we have is the underlying system is flawed in terms of economic development and economic growth, right? Our entire system, global system, money is the main mode of discourse in the world today. And it's good because if you think of money as a form of energy, we freed money, energy from religious structures and feudal systems, and then the power of ideas came along, and the power of technology came along, and now it flows very nicely, very quickly to new ideas and good ideas. Via venture capital, via private equity, Bitcoin, new ideas can pop up and money will flow where the best ideas are. So that's fantastic at one level. But we're moving from money as a main mode of discourse in the world to information as a main mode of discourse in the world. So for example, any startup would much rather gather data about things rather than getting money early because they can monetize the data much more. And they're fungible today. You can convert money into information and vice versa. Over time, information becomes the higher order bit, right? Because take your health, you're much more interested in the different biomarkers you can track than how much it'll cost you to fix things, et cetera, because the information is more valuable. So I think at a very metaphysical level, we're shifting from the quest for money and the quest for greed, et cetera, and energy that way, and shifting it into information. When we move that transition, now things become really powerful. I think this is the massive insight that Ray Kurzweil had when he started tracking Moore's law, that as we digitize, we turn things into information. That information can then be manipulated back into matter, back into money, and vice versa. And you have this amazing cyclical pattern that can take place. And little by little, we're moving more and more into that. Over time, money will become less important on this scale. If you went back 1,000 years ago, we were all working 18 hours a day in the fields to put 3 meals on the table. And
Some of us still are, Salim.
And some of us still are. But you didn't have a choice then. You pretty much had to do that. Only a very small percentage of the population could not do that. Right? Today, that number of that population that doesn't have to do that is much, much, much bigger. And little by little, as we do better vertical farming and solar energy into all sorts of remote parts in the world, and satellite internet and water extraction out of the atmosphere, pretty much we'll be able to have an amazing life anywhere on the planet for every level of humanity. That's why Peter gets so excited. That's why we get so excited about the technological progress. The problem is our social systems. And all our infrastructure and all our institutions are not geared for smooth progress in this thing. I think to summarize those lines that you were talking about, I would quote E.O. Wilson, the famous biologist, who said, the problem with humanity is that our emotions are Paleolithic, our institutions are medieval, and our technology is godlike. Right? Pretty much all the problems in the world come from the gaps in those layers. And I think the pressure is so intense today that any leader today will spend the next 20 years of our lives basically dealing with the gaps in those layers.
Yeah, let's name that the human problem.
The human problem.
So my thing is the human problem is not going anywhere. So for instance, you were just talking about right now people are seeking money, that becomes the game, but now the information is going to become the higher order bit. People are going to start pursuing that. But what I will ask is why? And the answer to me seems self-evidently, it's more powerful. So you still have humans playing a game of power, which is why I'm still very concerned about these valleys of despair, because unless something changes in our biology that makes us pursue different things, we will simply derange AI. We will simply derange the pursuit of information. And while you and I share a very optimistic vision of the long-term future because of that long arc, what way do you see us? So going back to your branching choice between Mad Max or Utopia, how do we nudge humanity to not go down Mad Max, which you're saying we're doing currently, and instead go to utopia? How do you solve the human problem?
I think you open up as fast as possible and decentralize as fast as possible. Okay, so the number two to Zelensky in the Ukraine is one of our community members. So we've got our global OpenEXO community that are building for the 21st century, building companies and transforming governments, etc. And I was chatting with him, and he was asking some advice. Turns out they've been using my book a bit in their dealing with the what's happening there. And one of the comments I made is, look, how is it that you've become so resilient as in terms of in the face of the aggression? And he said, we've decentralized the country. We've decentralized the country, so there's no single point of attack for energy or for infrastructure or for electricity, et cetera. And we've been doing that for 10 years because we could see this could be a likely possibility. So I think what happens is when you decentralize, things become much, much more resilient. Just take energy, for example. If you decentralize, we can have solar energy powering lots of small communities, then there's no need for security at the central power grid because there isn't one. And anybody can generate solar energy at a very local level. And the efficiency means we'll get better and better at storing it and better at generating it. And now you have amazing resource capability anywhere at a wonderful level. Most of our wars over the last 100 years have been over energy, oil specifically, right? So when we free ourselves from that, hopefully you should get to a peaceful nature. Now, I was under the impression for a while that, when we get to abundance, that we won't be fighting anymore. And I got disillusioned from that by a couple of the deep thinkers who said, no, we'll still have lots of human conflict because humans are really geared towards conflict. In XPRIZE, we try and push people towards healthy competition and let's work things out that way. We've got all sorts of really great ways of dealing with the natural conflict that we bring up in human beings. For example, sports teams, the Olympics, etc. And that allows us to vent a lot of kind of aggression that might otherwise come out in other ways. But we still have to deal with the fundamental human nature problem. And I'm hopefully the abundance side gets there faster than some lone small team of people trying to use AI to design a virus that will attack all middle-aged Indian bald guys, right? That would be the hope.
Okay, that's Salim Ismail, and he grew up in India as a young person and then came to the States, and he was with Yahoo, and basically he's a futurist, and he wrote a book called Exponential Organizations a few years ago. Basically, that book came out about 10 years ago, but he's been on this track of turning organizations, business, right, into exponential organizations, and so an EXO. Basically, it's using the tenets of modern technology and other original ideas that he's bringing to the table, along now with the infusion of AI, to turn organizations into high performing projects with not a lot of people and not a lot of waste and not a lot of, not a lot of commotion. Very interesting. Future-like organizations that are able to do a lot, but not the way it was done in the old days, not in the way it was done in the in the days prior. It's a new type of organization, exponential organization. So if you're interested in that, his name is Salim Ismail, and Ismail. And the book is Exponential Organizations. He's got a podcast out too. I've been listening to it. I kind of became aware of this gentleman through this podcast that was on impact theory, and so I thought, this guy's really he's making a lot of sense, And so anyway, I kind of delved down a little bit and realized that he had written this book. And anyway, I think it's a great tool to help you kind of get a vision of where things are going, help us to sort of discover what a new streamlined futuristic organization should really be, and to be really efficient and with the right goals in mind going forward, you know, and also with the idea of infusing AI into the business from the very beginning and making sure that we can, you know, do a whole lot with not a lot of waste or a lot of people or a lot of, you know, things that are not productive. Anyway, that's an interesting clip. So I hope that will be helpful to learn about what he's doing with his work in that area. Okay, we've got a little more from the interview with Sam Altman the other day. This will be the final clip. I know I've probably gone overboard with playing this over and over, but you know, or continuation of various clips. But I just think that anytime Sam Altman's talking, I think we should kind of listen to what he's talking about, because he's right at the forefront of what's about to explode across the planet, you know, with OpenAI and with ChatGPT-4, now ChatGPT-4o. Let's take a listen to this final portion of the interview.
If you can indulge us, because I know there's a lot of love for you, so I wonder if we can all just sing happy birthday.
No, please don't.
No? We want to make you very uncomfortable.
I'd rather do one more question. I'd much rather do one more question. This is less interesting to you. Thank you.
You can do one more question quickly. Day, dear Sam. Happy birthday to you. 20 seconds of awkwardness. Is there a burner question? Somebody who's got a real burner? And we only have 30 seconds, so make it short.
Hi. I wanted to ask if the prospect of making something smarter than any human could possibly be scares you.
It of course does, and I think it would be like really weird and a bad sign if it didn't scare me. Humans have gotten dramatically smarter and more capable over time. You are dramatically more capable than your great-great-grandparents. And there's almost no biological drift over that period. Like, sure, you eat a little bit better and you got better healthcare. Maybe you eat worse, I don't know. But that's not the main reason you're more capable. You are more capable because the infrastructure of society is way smarter and way more capable than any human. And through that, it made you society, people that came before you, made you the internet, the iPhone, a huge amount of knowledge available at your fingertips, and you can do things that your predecessors would find absolutely breathtaking. Society is far smarter than you now. Society is an AGI as far as you can tell. And the way that happened was not any individual's brain, but the space between all of us, that scaffolding that we build up and contribute to brick by brick, step by step, and then we use to go to far greater heights for the people that come after us. Things that are smarter than us will contribute to that same scaffolding. Your children will have tools available that you didn't, and that scaffolding will have gotten built up to greater heights. And that's always a little bit scary, but I think it's like way more good than bad, and people will do better things and solve more problems. And the people of the future will be able to use these new tools and the new scaffolding that these new tools contribute to. If you think about a world that has AI making a bunch of scientific discovery, what happens to that scientific progress is it just gets added to the scaffolding. And then your kids can do new things with it, or you in 10 years can do new things with it.
Okay, we should take another look at the big announcement last week. OpenAI came out with ChatGPT-4o. O for Omni. Okay, we've got that clip. This was released by OpenAI last week, and some of the attributes of this new iteration are released, and some are yet not released, as I understand it, because I've been trying to figure out how to access some of them, and I haven't been able to access some of the interesting attributes that are new. So let's take a look. Let's see if we can go to that clip and follow it with as much time as we have left in the show, so you can kind of get an idea of what is in store with this new free ChatGPT-4o.
But the big news today is that we are launching our new flagship model. This is GPT-4o. GPT-4o provides GPT-4 level intelligence, but it is much faster, and it improves on its capabilities across text, vision, and audio. And we think that GPT-4o is really shifting that paradigm into the future of collaboration, where this interaction becomes much more natural and far, far easier. GPT-4o reasons across voice, text, and vision. And with these incredible efficiencies, it also allows us to bring the GPT-4 class intelligence to our free users. This is something that we've been trying to do for many, many months, and we're very, very excited to finally bring GPT-4o to all of our users. We have these advanced tools that are only available to our paid users, at least until now. With the efficiencies of 4o, we can bring these tools to everyone. So starting today, you can use GPTs and the GPT store. And you can also use Vision. So now you can upload screenshots, photos, documents containing both text and images, and you can start conversations with ChatGPT about all of this content. You can also use Memory, where it makes ChatGPT far more useful and helpful because now it has a sense of continuity across all your conversations. So we're very, very excited to bring GPT-4o to all of our free users out there. And for the paid users, they will continue to have up to 5 times the capacity limits of our free users. But GPT-4o is not only available in ChatGPT. We're also bringing it to the API.
Hey, so I'm on stage right now. I'm doing a live demo, and frankly, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Can you help me calm my nerves a little bit?
Oh, you're doing a live demo right now? That's awesome. Just take a deep breath. And remember, you're the expert here.
I like that suggestion. Let me try a couple deep breaths. Can you give me feedback on my breaths? Okay, here I go.
Whoa, slow a bit there. Mark, you're not a vacuum cleaner. Breathe in for a count of 4.
Okay, let me try again. So I'm gonna breathe in deeply, and then breathe out.
For 4, and then exhale slowly.
Okay, I'll try again. Breathing in, and breathe out.
That's it. How do you feel?
I feel a lot better. Thank you so much.
So Mark, you've been working on these capabilities for a while now. Can you tell us a bit how it's different from voice mode?
Right, so if you've used our voice mode experience before, you'll notice a couple key differences. First, you can now interrupt the model. You don't have to wait for it to finish your turn before you can start speaking, and you can just butt in whenever you want. Second, the model is real-time responsiveness. So that means that you don't have this awkward 2 to 3 second lag before you wait for the model to give a response. And finally, the model picks up on emotion, right? When I was breathing super hard there, it could tell, and it knew, hey, you might want to calm down a little bit. You're kind of running a little bit too fast. So, it really has that capability across the board to perceive your emotion. Not only that, though, the model is able to generate voice in a variety of different emotive styles.
Okay, we'll have more of that video tomorrow. So stay tuned for the rest of that. It's sort of a tutorial on some of the new aspects of the ChatGPT 4o. Also, we've got a video, how AI learns how to feel. So you could see that the ChatGPT 4 was a little bit concerned when he was breathing very hard. So that was the emotional aspect he was talking about. It's learning how to feel. So we've got a video on that. We'll do that tomorrow, how AI learns how to feel. How does it become emotionally connected aside from just interpreting what you say? Anyway, we'll continue with all that tomorrow. I guess we're about out of time now, but let me mention the show is brought to you by our in-house apothecary. It's called Pendragon Apothecary. And Pendragon Apothecary is a forward-leaning wellness store. We've got the mushroom powders, chaga, reishi, all of the medicinal mushroom powders, and various other herbal herbal and teas and tinctures and all the types of things that will help, hopefully, to keep you feeling good and feeling healthy too. And it's at pendragonapothecary.com. And that's it for today. I believe we're just about out of time now. And so we hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for being with us. Now we're on channel 7.1 across the Gulf Coast. That's Ocean 7, and we're also streaming on Facebook on the Ocean 7 TV Facebook page, on my Edward St. Pei Facebook page, and now we're also on X. And I'm thinking we'll probably be on some other platforms soon. But anyway, if you're seeing the show, I hope it's helpful to learn about some of these high-tech things, and hopefully it will be something that will infuse some power and some great potentiality into your life, some of the things that are unfolding right now for all of us. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow on Future Shock.
Yesterday is yesteryear. Set your sights for Tomorrowland. Future Shock is here to help you make your stand. Ready, set, Future Shock.
Welcome aboard Ocean 7. Thank you for being on board with us as we take you across the interplanetary landscape of great television programming. We'd like to welcome one of our fine sponsors to the program. A new sponsor here, downtown Ocean Springs' own Pendragon Apothecary. Thank you for being a sponsor on board our ship, and thank you for being a viewer of Ocean 7. Now hold on to your wormhole as we retro-tail it back to the home of Ocean 7, downtown Ocean Springs. Attention, those of the higher order. Never in the annals of modern science has anyone ever compared to Dr. Momus Alexander Morgus. Dr. Morgus returns to Ocean 7 television Saturday nights at 10:30 p.m., hosting The Vault of Horror. Dr. Morgus returns to Ocean 7, and may God help us all.
Wait till I put the top on. Oh, you be quiet, lady. I'm doing you a favor. My gosh, okay. I'll throw it on. You ought to know better than that. Okay. There it goes. All right. We're going to take off about 200 pounds here. We'll get her in that wedding dress. Oh, boy. It always has to happen right here. Well, it looks like that's about it. Yeah.
The Gulf Coast's only locally owned television station, WXVO, Pascagoula, Ocean Springs, Biloxi.